where are we at with a potential Chael Sonnen return? You got your USADA results back.
Yes.
And where do we go from here?
So the way USADA works, you got to jump into this pool. I believe it's a 4-month pool, and there's room for exemptions and how all of that stuff. I ended up in the pool. That's what I can tell you. Everything went fine. I was tested 4 or 5 times, and man, the best I can say is I'm working on it. I'm in the gym every day.
He's in the pool.
I'm in the pool. I got my weight down. Yeah, I got so big for a while there, I couldn't even finish a workout. And so anyway, I got my weight down. I've been getting in shape. I've been in the gym, and it's going okay. I can't tell you it's going great. I'm having some great moments here and there, but overall, after I spar for the day, it's going okay. But it used to not be okay. I started it bad. I started where I couldn't finish a workout, man. It turned into this thing where I just had to start taking baby steps, and getting my weight down changed things a lot. So I'm spending some time in the college room. We got a college out here called Clackamas Community College, one of the top programs in the country with one of the top coaches. I'm spending some time with those guys and just trying to get my minutes in and pay my dues. Right, for a while there, Nick, it wasn't an option. And whenever I would dance around it, it looked like I was trying to be the guy with some secret. No, if I'm coming back, I'm coming back. But the truth is, I wasn't in a position to, man. I was sitting on a suspension. Boom, I get done with the suspension, and then all of a sudden I find out about this USADA pool. Well, that adds another X amount of months, and you got to get in it. You got to comply, and then you got to get a contract and a date and a post. So there was just a lot of moving parts. It wasn't as simple as me going, I'm in. And at one point in my career, it was as simple as saying, I'm in. But it's not like that anymore. Now there's a lot of formalities and stuff you just have to go through. So I'm starting that process so that it at least becomes an option to where I can go, boom, let's do this, or no, I'm not going to do it again. So that's where I'm at. I'm in practice every day. I haven't missed in a meaningful period of time. I'm on track to be able to raise my hand and say, put me in, coach.
Yeah, at middleweight again?
I think I'd like to go back to middleweight. 205 is a lot more fun just because of the pain of cutting weight, but I think that middleweight's probably the place to end up. It does come down to where can you get an opportunity? Where can you fill in? For a while there, I thought about going up to heavyweight just because they moved a little bit slower. So every now and then your mind plays tricks on you, but ultimately, I'll sit down with
heavyweight. Man, oh man.
Yeah, I thought that I didn't stay with that flirtation very long, but I did think about it. But ultimately, I'll talk to Coach Clayton. I'll see what he thinks. He'll probably be the one that decides the weight class, and then go from there. That was a really long answer to your simple question, but it required a long answer. I understand. It's beautiful. Let me ask you real quick. Okay.
Just while we're talking about heels and baby faces, you obviously made your money, or made your mark in your career as a heel. Let me ask you this, and I certainly don't mean to to desensitize the unfortunate things that you've had in your personal life as of late, but to me, when you were talking about training earlier, it made me think of that tweet that you put out where you were carrying the tire. I think it was a tire. You were doing a fireman's carry, I think, where you and you had your little boy walking. It honestly, Chael, like I'm not just saying this, to kiss your ass. Like we're friends. I was in tears. I'm getting a little choked up just thinking about it now, because I love the fact that you referenced Scott Hall's "Go Home" line from his Hall of Fame speech, which I'm sure a lot of MMA fans probably don't realize. But I just went. I showed it to Mickey, and Mickey did the same thing, where Mickey was, she was just like, wow, look at that, and we were just so choked up, because obviously I have a little boy, and he'd been in the gym with me a couple of days earlier, doing like similar kind of stuff where he was kind of trying to copy what I was doing, and it was just this unbelievable sort of feeling, and then we sort of composed ourselves, and I said, well, I guess Chael's a babyface now.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but yeah, man, I'll tell you, I've had a rough month. It's been a rough little storm, but I'll tell you, I don't know any way. I don't know any way around those things. You just got to go through them sometimes, and it's so hard to get out of bed when you're depressed and when you're sad and when you're dealing with that stuff. But at the same time, when that clock goes off, man, you got to get up. That's just what you just have to do it. And, yeah, I mean, that's about all I can tell you about my month, man. It's been a rough month, but the only way around it is to go through it. And there's just not going to be any other way.
That's wonderful advice, from a guy who's obviously been so successful. But you didn't answer my question. Do you think if you come back, do you think you're going to get a babyface reception? Or are you going straight back to the bad guy?
I would go straight back to the bad guy.
I figured you would say that.
Yeah, if I came back and got any positive response from the fans, I would flip it right then. I would say I can see you guys have all missed me, but let me make this really clear. I haven't missed a single one of you, and all I've done in the last 2 years is think of new ways to scheme you out of your money, and you're all going to be contributing to my favorite charity known as the Chael Sonnen bank account. And I would leave it at that. I would set the pace right out of the gate if I was to come back. But I don't want anything to do. I don't even want anything to do with that good guy part. All those guys want patted on the backs, but I don't want anything to do with it.
You want money. I want money in the bank.
I want that. I want to draw. I want to give them something to be entertaining, and every story needs a bad guy. I love the movies. I only have a few hobbies, and watching movies is one of them, and there's got to be a bad guy. There just does.
Hey, who influenced your bad guy persona? I'm just curious. Obviously you've got your own spin on it, but where's a lot of the inspiration coming from for that?
Well, yeah, I really like Scott Hall's work. You brought him up. I thought he was great, but I just like the guys that embraced it, that went all the way in. One of the greatest heels of all time was Ted DiBiase. I used to hate that son of a bitch. Oh God, did I hate him. And I'll tell you another guy, he might be number one. It's probably between Ted and I'll tell you who is Rick Rude. And the thing with Rick Rude is how unapologetic he was about being a dick. And, some of these guys, I'll watch them, they'll go for a little bit of heel heat. When the crowd reacts, all of a sudden, they got to give a smile or give a wink, or they start to go down that road and they stop part way. And Rick Rude went all the way, and he never broke. And, I would say those guys were those were the ones. And
I definitely see Rick Rude in the way you talk. I definitely see some Rick Rude. I see a little bit of Nick Bockwinkel too.
He was good. Nick was very good. Nick was a little ahead of his time. Superstar Billy Graham. It all kind of stems from him. Muhammad Ali, if you want to get into that. Superstar said he was influenced by Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali said he was influenced by some golfer.
Well, Muhammad Ali he would publicly say he was influenced by Gorgeous George, but privately the opinion is that he was influenced by a lesser-known wrestler called Sweet Daddy Siki, who was a black wrestler who he was a territories guy, but he had some good success up in Calgary for Stu Hart and a few other promoters. But the word is, I don't know how much validity there is to it, but the word is he was influenced by Sweet Daddy Siki.
Wow. And see, I love those stories like that. Superstar, to go back to him, he was just a little bit ahead of his time. He was just, with the colors and some of the stuff he was doing, it was weird. And then about a decade later, it became the way to do it.